A real quick check on things here. This zero-step unit took a cohesion hit, and I'm sure he took a cohesion hit in at least the first turn, if not the second. And so he should have been gone. So that changes things. I can't decide how I want to rule that. The German command point comes up next. So our direct command chit, and the only one that's got any command points are the units up here, the 26 Volks Grenadier Division. I mean, I'll probably spend it to fire on this guy, but anywho. So the Germans would probably be in here for sure. At some point, probably, guess on how things flow, they would have moved in there. So I'm not going to play it like that. I'm going to wait till it happens. I'm probably going to replay this scenario again anyway, based on some things I've learned. So another thing I learned is the green mortars do not have a fire zone. They do not, because they can't opportunity fire, so they don't really have a fire zone per se. Oh man, what is the other thing? So 0 steps, they get a cohesion hit, they're lost. I need to double check slope line of sight. And I think that's all for now. There's something else I'm remembering. Oh, you don't get company bonus on op checks, op fire. So, and then you got these units from the Fallschirmjägers are coming in over here on this side, I guess. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this works. Now that I know that they don't, I need to double check that, but if they don't exert a fire zone, then they can get further up, depending on how to check what this stuff is. All right, that's that. We'll talk to you. All right, it's the end of turn, the night turn in Waltz with Wiltz, waltzing, Wiltz, whatever. Okay, so there's a couple things. So this one I left open there. I didn't. So the Americans moved in there, got some good. Yeah, they went after the direct command for the Germans. I got to go, so he moved in there, and then yeah, that didn't make sense. Under direct command, I think whatever I did it in the correct order. He did it. He built a improved position. Okay, you can see that a lot of that happened here. Should have done that here. I should have done it all around here to start, and I just wasn't thinking. So that was a big deal. Learned a lot of rules here, which is good. I hope I did this right, and I need to post this as a separate question. So these guys all came in over here, from over here as a reinforcement. And I don't remember which counter it was, but I think it was a division activation. You can't move into an enemy fire zone. Well, I don't believe that mortar has a fire zone. So I moved these guys up, and then I forced marched them. So I moved them in column, force marched them, so they had the points. They started in column. And then so they would have that extra point to get out of column. They passed. I think I paid. I don't know if you can pay for that. I think a couple I might have paid for. I'm not sure. Anyway, well, everyone passed except for 2 of them in here did not. So you got a couple cohesion hits on here. Now the bad thing is the formation activation chit did not get pulled, and the Germans really needed that. Instead, the Germans, these guys activated, which they did put some barrages on people and hurt these guys out. So these Americans might, but they really needed this to come up so they could assault like this guy or this guy. I mean, to get in there, like this guy's really beat up here. Now this German's got 2 cohesion hits. They tried to build in place in here, not in place, but improved positions in the town. They didn't get it, so they got men at works. It's funny, they both failed with the colonel there, Colonel Fuller. So this is going to go first. So now I'm definitely going to assault these, and I'm going to have to really read through that. And this guy is, so he's got the barrage. This barrage is going to come off actually at the end of this turn. So that comes off. Yeah, he's got 2 cohesion hits. He's now suppressed. He's also got this step. The step loss should be on him. So he's at 2 and a 2. He can't fire, and he's at a 0. And he's got these, so he's -2. I mean, I don't know what all counts. I'll have to look at that. The barrages all come off. I did learn about... Oh, I've learned several things. I'll have to do a separate video about the things I learned, and I'll do it with rules references. Anyway, so these guys will go first, so that'll be interesting. They'll get them here. They'll need to get their division activation. It's going to be pushing it, and there's a lot of things I could have done differently to maybe make this happen. And some things I'll have to check. Okay, anyway, that's that. That's where we stand. So one more turn, 0700. I have to see what happens at the beginning of the day. You know, can you change weather in this scenario? I don't know. So we'll see what happens, and I'll come back to you after the 0700 and end of game. I mean, it's going to be tight for the Germans. It's not sure the Germans can do it. They really need to get 2 things in a row so that the Americans can improve these positions. Yeah, what they really need is... They need this. Well, this will come up, so they'll be able to assault here. I can't decide. I feel like these guys are too far back. Like, it almost doesn't do any good. Maybe these guys will assault here. Oh, I did whittle this guy down to 1 step. Boop. So he's down as to a step. And he's got 2 cohesion hits. So he's at a 0 firepower and a 0 assault rating. That's the Recce, I think. Let's look at that since I just did all that flip around. AC 28th Recon armored car. But you know, if I could get in here, then the Germans need their division to activate, so they get some points, and then I can spend those command points to maybe jump in there. And maybe what I need to do is get full 8 guys. You know, load up this thing with the, you know, this hex with these guys so they can all jump in together, because you can't assault from separate hexes, I don't think. So, okay, that's that. Sorry, I rambled on here. Ooh, that was 5 minutes. Doggone. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. Okay, game over. Another bad draw for the Germans. This was the last, that was the last counter to be drawn for the turn. The 0700 turn on the 20th of December. The dead pile, let me bring that over. The Americans were really starting to take some hits. So a friend asked me how this was designed, you know, if the Germans had enough turns or not. And they do. It's a very tightly designed scenario. You can tell a lot of it's going to depend on, some of it is that I didn't know some of the rules and understand how to, you know, use those rules to get the guys up here sooner. The Germans really need to be up here quicker. And I am sure, in fact, I know I did a lot of things wrong. Like during the night turn, I forgot to take the minuses off the firepower. That's huge, because I did I didn't destroy any. I might have destroyed a unit, but I definitely did some damage during the night turn. That would have changed that. Did I assault during the night turn? I think I did. No, I don't know. I assaulted most of the time during the fog. So, and I did apply those ratings. Anyway, so you can see the 4 units here from the Americans that were killed. They probably wouldn't have been because of that, the night stuff. Probably would have done a little less damage. And then this German unit is the only German unit eliminated. It was eliminated by this 1-step loss anti-tank gun here. He fired, hit a 6 on the 6. I got the... did I do that right? Something doesn't seem right about that all of a sudden. Was there a mass modifier? Anyway, I hit a 6, eliminating that. Again, I think I just need to be a little bit more careful, make sure I'm looking at all the numbers. There's a lot of little modifiers. I had a couple of assaults here that took them out. They did assault. Actually, they didn't have to assault here. This was cool. Some already took out the unit, so then they were able to just move in there in the next their next move. I think I assaulted here too. I had 2 assaults, I think, here and here. That's what took out the mortar and the recon. Yep. So the Assad flow chart is deep and complex, but to me the hardest thing is figuring out the the bravery check, honestly, because it's affected by, I think it's affected by the fire ratings and some other stuff. And then I wasn't quite clear why the terrain affects the defender. I don't have to read through that again. Sorry about my camera. So there's a bunch. I'm going to probably do a separate video of the lessons learned here because this video has already been long enough. Anyway, that was fun. I enjoyed that a lot. And I will move on to the next scenario, the No-No-Noville. And I would play this one again in a heartbeat, and because it's pretty simple. There's no arty parks. You're always in command, so you don't have to worry about that. This is a little weird, these units here, but they did a little bit of plinking over here, these guys here. I mean, I guess what I could, really what they'd be good for is get over here to keep, but they don't have a fire range anyway. These are all just engineer units. Americans definitely IP them quicker. I would move the engineers from here because then these guys can't, unless they move these guys up here. I wouldn't, there's no need to, I mean, I guess that's one thing these Germans could do if the Americans do pull back. You just move these guys up. There's just a lot of little things you can do here in the rules, and you really have to know all those things to really execute well, I think. Like one I'm thinking of is these starred units, and I have to look at if you can pay, I think you can pay a command point, and then if you're in command, anyway, you can roll and you can move one hex into a hex that a foot could move into. So you can't move into prohibited terrain, but that's pretty big. I mean, because these guys are here, otherwise you got to flip them over, and that's just a lot, and I don't really need to move much. Moving these guys back here was a mistake. I should have kept them up here, then I could have hit this up here more. This was going to be tough to do. This is a city. They had built an IP. Yeah, I can't imagine. That's what these guys need to do immediately, is build IPs. Unless there's something that says you can't do that. I don't know why, as soon as these guys get to go, build an IP. And then you're going to make it really tough and put an engineer in there and build an entrenchment in there. So, which I think you can do in a city. I didn't see anything you can't. Maybe entrenchments you can't, but IPs you definitely can. And I got all kinds of engineers here, so they should move in here and help these guys build some strength. I really felt like, so these guys didn't get to assault. I was going to assault with these guys and see what a commander does. I felt like a commander could do something in assault. I don't recall seeing that. All right, well, this is another long post here, so this is going to be a long video. That was my game, Waltz to Wiltz, Waltz, the Wiltz Waltz. And that's that, and good time. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks all.